everybody. Welcome to the 4K Lowdown presents Hi-5. My special guest today is none other than Vengeance Media,
What's going on,
otherwise
guys?
known as my friend across the pond, Matt. How you doing, brother?
I I'm so happy to be here, man.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I'm glad. I hope you have a good time. I know I'm going to have a good time because what I had you do was I had you pick 5 movies. Um, Not necessarily your favorites of all time, but just movies that you love. And you gave
Yep.
me a list really quick. You were like right on the ball, and I was like, oh, you know. And then you're like, you can tell I'm an '80s guy, and I was like, yeah, and I'm totally in. Um,
You said we're gonna
because
be friends, brother.
I said I
Brother,
knew we were
you're,
going to be
you're...
friends right away. As soon as um, so so yeah, it was really funny because I wanted to catch you. I wanted to catch you on Wednesday because we were supposed to be on Playtendo Guys stream on Wednesday.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, you got hurt. You couldn't make it. So I missed you because I was like, wow, I get a chance to talk to Matt before I talk to Matt, and so I was really hoping you were going to be there, but I understand, and I'm glad you're feeling better. We
Oh,
we talked about that.
by the time it was 7:30 in the UK, so it was. I didn't have my phone on me. My brother-in-law had my phone, so I couldn't contact any of you guys, and was seen to. So yeah, it was a crazy time, but I'm here now.
Yeah,
I'm back. It
yeah,
feels good to be
uh,
back, and yeah,
yeah.
I
Any
appreciate you
painkillers
having me
going
on
on
this
right now?
stream.
Because you know, I would love it if you were still on painkillers, so we could really have a good time. But
I'm high as a kite right now, so
sweet.
I'm
That's awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I had you pick 5 movies, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna score them using the Lowedown system. And the Lowedown system, it's complicated, but you'll catch on pretty quick. So what I do is I pick 10 aspects of the movie that I want it to have, and that's based on 5 aspects that I want in all movies, 3 that I want based on the genre, and then 2 based on the type. So, like for example, if for all movies, I want a good cast, I want good acting, a good plot, an ending, and a good story. So those are the 5 things that I want in all movies. And then for the genre, it all depends on what the genre is. Like so, for an action movie, I want violence and a good pace and good special effects. But for a drama, I'm not interested in that. I want to be, I want to be, maybe educated. I want to be interested in the subject. I want a good script. So it changes based on whatever genre the movie is that you gave me. And then the type of movie. Is it a time travel movie? Is it a spy movie? Is it a martial arts movie? Those also give a couple of different aspects. So I picked 10 aspects for all the 5 movies that you gave me. I have already scored them previously, so I have my own rank. I'm going to have you score them live on the show, and then I'm going to surprise you at the end with what your scores were.
Okay,
All right? Um,
awesome.
while we're
That
doing that, I'm going to ask you a series of questions in between movies to where, just some things about movie watching and just your taste in general. Um,
yeah, 100.
awesome. All right. So let's start with the first question. The first question is, how do you prefer to watch movies? Do you prefer the theater or cinema? Do you prefer digital media or physical media?
Now go. I would have said the movie theater. I love. Yeah, I still love going. I'm a huge, you huge advocate of going to the movies,
Yeah.
supporting the movie on a on the big screen, like Top Gun Maverick. You're not going to get the same. You're not going to get the same. You're not going to get the same viewing experience by watching it at home because it's one of those movies that screen possible. But with that being said, the more I'm getting older, I like being in my home comforts. I like being in my PJs. I
There
like
you go.
I like to be on the comfort of my sofa, my couch. I can vape snacks. I can pause it to. The more I get older, my bladder is getting much worse. So you know, and
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go see Avengers Endgame. I don't know if I'm gonna make that.
yeah, you know that, brother. So
that's a 3-hour movie. You got to plan for that.
oh man, it was difficult to get through the Batman. It was
Oh
yeah,
that's 3 hours too, where you're just like,
yeah.
oh. You know,
So
where you're shaking in your seat.
yeah.
Hurry up and get through the credits. Don't be an end scene. Don't be there be an end credits scene.
Oh
You're not gonna go.
my god, no!
Oh man.
There's a website that I checked to the best places in the movie. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's the more I'm getting older, it's the more I like being at home. Very much so. So I go buy the physical and get the 4K set up. I've got a 75-inch Samsung 4K telly. So yeah. So
Okay.
at home, Blu-ray release or whatever, and watch it at home.
You have do you care whether you watch it streaming or whether you have the physical?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. For instance, yesterday we just got The Grey Man.
Okay.
On Netflix, and that has. I do watch streaming. I have Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Play, Marvel shows and stuff like that. But nah, man, I do, but I still buy the physical because you don't own stream, you don't own the movie, you're just renting it.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing.
Can take it away. They can take it away.
Yeah, it was something that we talked about on Instagram a few weeks ago, where we talked about digital versus physical, and we were talking about if you have 1,000 digital movies, are you a collector? And that was a topic of debate. We were trying to figure, and I'm like, I see merits to both sides. I think, if I bought the movie and it's got the digital code inside, then I'm collecting that code as well. But truthfully, you don't own the movie. So are you a collector if you don't own it?
Absolutely.
It's kind of an interesting. It's a chicken egg thing that we were discussing, and boy, we had a big debate on it. And I personally don't care either way. You saw the picture of my living room. I prefer physical media.
Yeah, 100%.
I just do.
Yeah.
I have almost 7,000 movies. There, So it's because back then I didn't stream. I couldn't. I lived in the country, and I don't stream. So Dot's joined us. Says the big screen at home is always a winner. Cinema has its perks also. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Like your point
like
about
I said,
Top Gun Maverick. I had to go see Top Gun Maverick twice in the theater.
Yeah.
And I rarely do that because I was like, man, I want that sound. I want the big screen. I want all the stuff happening. Yeah, I loved that movie. That's one of my favorites this year.
Yeah. It's one of those times. It was so good on the big screen, but then when you brought it on Blu-ray and watched it at home, it didn't have that same effect. It'd be the same with Top Gun Maverick. I mean, it'd still be awesome. Don't get me wrong, but
I've already got the 4K Steelbook pre-ordered, but it's not, and they don't even have the artwork for it yet. I'm just like,
no.
But I'll get it. But I have a 65-inch Vizio, but I have the Dolby Atmos speakers, and I have the Panasonic 4K player, and I've got a big living room. So when you get the surround sound going in this room, it's awesome.
It's rocking.
I put the new Dune in. That was the first movie I played with the whole setup. Was the new Dune, and the floor shook in my house. It was awesome. It was awesome.
So you got
all right. Let's
very pissed off neighbors.
Fortunately, I can't throw a rock and hit a neighbor from here, so
Oh,
I don't have
fantastic.
anybody within a quarter of a mile from me. So no worries. The closest house to me is a B&B, and so they're
Oh,
just gonna
wow.
have to deal with it.
They're not going to be there long
But
anyway. So,
nope, I'm never gonna see them again, so it doesn't matter to
no.
me. Um, but yeah, and I'm on an acre and a half of land, so like I said, there's space. There's not, you know, like I said, if I
Oh,
throw a rock as
wow.
far as I can, I'm not gonna hit a house. So I might hit a bear, which I
That's,
don't want to do, but
yeah.
that's probably a bad idea.
No.
But anyway, okay, so let's
Yeah,
go to the first
definitely.
movie, and I usually give the guest the choice because of course I have all 5 movies that you picked, but we can go by release date order. I can just pick at random,
At
and I
random.
was okay.
Yeah,
Let's do
let's
it.
do
Let's go
this.
at
Yeah.
random. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. First movie is Lost Boys. Oh wow! So yeah, it was really weird when I scored these movies. 3 of the 5 that you gave me were like really close together, score wise for me, and I was really surprised. I mean, they're all within 10 points of each other for me because I love them. I love them
Yeah.
all in different ways, but it was like 2 points separate 3 movies, so it's like that's how close it is. But Lost Boys is awesome for me. My number 2 vampire movie of all time. Is this your favorite vampire movie, or do you have another one that's like,
Yeah. It's 100% my favorite vampire movie of all time. And it's coming to 4K,
yes,
which is
I'm so in.
amazing.
I've already pre-ordered it.
Yeah. Have
Oh
you
yeah.
seen the
Uh,
Savvy? You seen the Savvy release, man? So, um, I'm going to pre-order that on Monday. Apparently, it's available for pre-order on Savvy, like the Savvy
hey,
edition. So,
Jared Runner's joined us. Hey, Jared.
what's going on, Jared? How you doing, brother?
Um,
Yes.
so yeah. Oh man, this is a great movie,
It's just
and
everything about that movie, man. You got the soundtrack, which is
oh
because
yeah, and nothing beats a shirtless man with a saxophone solo. You can't
yeah,
have Lost Boys without that movie.
yeah, that I Still Believe song is in soundtrack now, man.
Yeah,
It's so good. And a soundtrack can make and Lost Boys is just yeah, it's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
And just the whole
I
the can't. Sorry, carry on.
That's okay. No, I wish that I would have scored this based on the soundtrack because this is absolutely one of my favorite soundtracks ever. Um,
Yeah.
Robert joins in. Robert, thanks for joining us, brother.
What's up,
Um,
Robert?
so, okay, so the first thing to talk about is the cast. Now, the cast is the only constant. When you're scoring, you're basing on a 1 to 10 scale, right? So for cast though, if you know the actor by name and face, you give the score 2 points. If you know the actor's face but you can't remember his name, it's 1 point. And then it adds up
Right.
to a maximum of 10. So if you're
Okay.
like, oh yeah, I know this person, and oh, there's that girl, and I know she was in this movie, but I don't remember her name. So if you were thinking, who do you remember from the cast by name and face?
Uh, obviously, um, Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the other dude's name. Um, it's gone right now because I'm so I'm so like
I put you on the spot, so now you're like, oh, I can't remember. Um,
I'm on prescription
so
medication, dude.
you're hyped up. I'm trying. Okay, so yeah, let's make it easy for you. So you have the 2 Corys. You have Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Corey Haim, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I figured that's where you're going. Um, I don't know if you know Jason Patrick. He was the older brother. Did you if you recognize him by face and not name? Like if you
Jason
were to watch the movie,
Patrick,
you
the
were
brother.
like
Yep.
Jason. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And then Jamie Gertz is the love interest. And then of course you've got Kiefer Sutherland.
Yep.
right? You've got Bill Winters from Bill and Ted. He's in it.
Alex Winter,
Alex
isn't
Winter,
it?
sorry. That's right. Yeah, it's Alex Winter. I was like, Bill and Ted was in my brain, so I said Bill Winters. But yeah, Alex Winter, you're exactly right. Um, oh, Dell's jumped in. What's up? Can't stay. On my way to see Nope. I'll catch the replay. Thanks, Dell. I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy Nope. I've heard
I've had some mixed reviews.
I haven't heard anybody say it was bad, but I've heard everything from meh to it was really good.
Yeah.
But nothing like it's the best movie I've ever seen, and nothing like it's totally
Yeah.
shit. So
That's it. I think
okay.
movies are getting too high. It just gets like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It just gets.
So I think by the cast and everything, I think you're at a 10 with the people that you recognize from the cast. Okay, so now the interesting part. So now we're basically your opinion on a scale of 1 to 10. How did you feel the acting was in the movie?
Yeah, it was good. It was subpar. It was,
Right. So you got to put a number on it though. So if you're like, oh yeah, maybe a 6, maybe an 8, what would you throw at it?
I'll probably go for a 7. Solid 7.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't, it was drama acting or anything like that, but it was, it was.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Frog Brothers. I thought they were horrible, but they made sense for the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is the plot. So the plot is basically I'm gonna read the back of the box, and just by that alone, not knowing about the cast or anything else about the movie, if you just read the back of the box, like if you were at a Blockbuster and you read the back of the movie box, would you rent the movie or would you buy the movie? How likely would you be to get it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yep.
Okay? And this is where I get my magnifying glass because I'm old. So it says, Sam and his older brother Michael are all-American teens with all-American interests. But after they move with their mother to peaceful Santa Carla, California, things mysteriously begin to change. Michael's not himself lately, and Mom's not going to like what he's turning into. Then it talks about, other stuff with the actors and stuff. So
yeah, I'm sold. I'm sold. Sold.
So
yeah.
on a 1 to 10 scale, how likely would you be to get that movie?
10. Yeah.
Nice.
100%.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm laughing when I read that. And it's like, oh yeah, I would totally watch that movie.
Yeah. Mum's not.
Mom's not gonna like what he's turning into.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is he? Is he getting to be a gangbanger? What's going on? But then
Yeah.
you see Kiefer Sutherland's little vampire face, and you're like, oh, that's what he's turning into.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is the ending. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you think of the ending? And this is like, did you get the questions answers that you wanted? Did you get the closure that you wanted? Was it hinting to a sequel that you didn't get? Or was it really good as a standalone ending? What would you rate the ending on a 1 to 10 scale?
I'm probably gonna go with like a. I thought it was a great. The movie before the ending kind of let it down a little bit. I thought it could have been like a better ending because I wanted the whole scene at the dinner table at the house and stuff like that. It was just like, but opinion,
Yeah, no, totally fine.
Yeah.
So, I didn't get your number though. What was the number you gave it?
7.
7, got it. Okay, and then the last thing from the first 5 aspects is we're looking for the story. So this is the story beginning, middle, and end. How did it progress? Were there any holes in the story, like questions you didn't get answered, or things like that as it went through? How would you rate the story, the total story of the movie, on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, 10. Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, it did play out really well. You
Yeah.
you understood good and bad really fast, and
Yep.
it built. You watched Michael's transformation. Was he going to fully go bad, or was he going to help? And then
Yeah.
and then I think my the interesting part was the main bad guy at the end.
Yeah. The
And
video rental guy
and
manager. Yeah.
yeah, and how he was.
Yeah.
I liked that dynamic in the story. Okay, so now I label this movie as a horror movie. It doesn't quite do it justice, though. It's way more than a horror movie. But if I was going to put one genre stamp on it, it's going to be horror. And I have it also labeled as a monster movie, which falls under vampire, werewolf, all that kind of stuff. So it's a monster film.
Yep.
So the first thing is for the horror element, the actual scare value of the movie. It doesn't mean that you were scared, but their attempts to be scary in the movie. What would you think of that on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably a 5.
Okay.
It's not supposed to scary. It's
No.
it's not a scary movie. Like I say, isn't it? Really.
No. And I wanted to plop one in. And this is kind of for one of the other things, but this is a picture I got from the movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was like one of the scariest elements in the movie, where he just showed up and just bit the dude's head. And I was like, okay, nice. I like that. Or, and this kind of goes into the other one. So aside from the scare element, I have the jumps. And those are the surprise things that happens. It could be a cat that jumps in front of you. It could be like in Lost Boys, there's a scene where the dude's just there and the vampire goes and picks him up, and all you see is him get grabbed and pulled straight up in the air, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
nice. So those are some
Fury
good
guy.
examples of a jump. What are you doing, Romeo? Romeo. Oh, my wife's home. That's what it is. So what did you think about the jump elements of the movie, and what would you give that on a 1 to 10?
I'll give it another 5.
Okay.
Yeah, for the
So again, yeah,
jump
you're right
for
in the
jump
middle with that.
scares.
All right, that's nice. All right. Okay, now the special effects is the last thing that I look at, and it could be practical effects or CGI or whatever. We're pretty much going practical effects here because nothing was CGI'd in the 80s. But for the time, so not looking at it now, but looking at it back then, what did you think of the special effects on a 1 to 10?
10. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I thought it looked.
Yeah, I agree. It was amazing. Like when Billy
Yeah.
Wolf hit the stereo and exploded.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, so
100%.
I'm 100% behind you on that one. So with the monster elements, the first thing that we look at is the monster themselves. So how did you think the vampires were portrayed in the movie? And then what would you give that on a 1 to 10?
Yeah, I'll go 10. How they were portrayed. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the uniqueness of it. How each one of them dies differently, and just the way that
They've all got
work.
their individual personality. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. There was just a different element to each one of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%.
It was a trip, and one of my favorite things was how Kiefer Sutherland's character died. Because you thought that he was gonna there was gonna be like this huge Highlander explosion, and there can be only one, but no, he just kind of went out with a whimper. He just kind of, and then he was dead, and I was like, oh. Well, that I didn't expect. That was kind of cool.
And like with the finale, I've rated it lower because I wanted a bit more.
You wanted it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's I think 100%. That's where I caught how you were like, I wanted the finale more, because Kiefer Sutherland's death wasn't that spectacular. It was really kind of. Yeah.
I think when they were filming it at the time, they didn't realize how much Kiefer Sutherland's character would be. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
so yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then the last thing with the monster movies, as I look at not necessarily gore, but bodies, like the kills that the vampires made. You know, it could be like if there's a lot of them, you give a good score. It could be like if they happen at just the right times or just the right people, you can give a good score to it. So, what would you rate the body count or the bodies, the kills that the vampires made?
Maybe it's low, but
So you said six,
I
or
kind of wanted it. Yeah, I'm gonna rate it low because I didn't think that. I think it'd been a lot better.
yeah,
Like it could have been a bit more like with the security guard and that. They ripped up that car roof and then they took took the girl out the car. I wanted to see a bit more blood, a bit more action, bit more gore, but
yeah.
yeah. I'd
Okay.
call it like family friendly. I would call it like family friendly kills.
Okay. Okay. Okay, add it at your score. We're 1 point difference on that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Right. So so we think about it. I mean, yeah, you scored different aspects with different numbers than I did, but total score, we're 1 point from each other.
That's
On
that's
that's
bonkers,
interesting.
brother.
Yeah. All right. So we've done the first movie, and we got João Paulo, I think that is. If I got that wrong, I apologize. But hello, thank you for joining. Um, all right, so question 2, and you were talking about this. What is your favorite snack and beverage for movie watching? And you can have something different in the theater versus at home, because you talked about having snacks.
Yeah.
It was like when you've been thinking about being at home watching movies, is you get your snacks. What's your go-to snack for
Oh,
movies?
I like to cook a big fat pizza, a big large pizza,
Oh,
have
nice!
it on the table in front of you. Yeah, and
I love that.
a pint of Dr Pepper with ice
Okay,
or a Coke. Yeah, yeah,
okay, nice.
yeah.
That's really good. In the theater, do you do anything, any snacks or anything there if you go?
I'm actually quite boring. I just popcorn, maybe a bit of chocolate, and a soda. Yeah,
Okay.
just yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm always popcorn in the theater. It's a requirement for me. Um, but yeah, I have an unusual snack preference at home, and it's chocolate covered banana chips.
Oh wow,
Um,
that sounds actually quite nice.
yeah, it's whenever I get a chance, I buy it in bulk at the grocery store, and I get like 2 or 3 pounds of it, and I put it in the freezer, and I let it get really cold, and then I just put that in a bowl, and I'm watching the movie, and usually it's iced tea or beer that I drink with the movie. But yeah, that's kind of what I go to at home.
Oh nice, nice as well. Yeah, I like a nice beer, cold beer
Oh yeah,
to wash it down with.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Especially with the pizza, you gotta have beer with pizza.
yeah, 100%.
I mean, I understand the Dr
Yeah.
Pepper, that's totally fine, but beer and pizza, that goes together like peanut butter and chocolate. Um, so, all right, so randomly we're gonna pick our second movie. Are you ready, brother?
Oh,
Okay, second movie is Scarface. Nice, good pick. Okay, so Scarface I have listed as a crime thriller. So thriller is the genre,
yep.
crime is the type. So start off with the cast.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you reckon? Who do you know from the cast?
Al Pacino,
Right.
100%. Yeah. That's is that a DVD? Is it?
No, it's the Blu-ray.
Right. That's nice. So you got
So
and,
I got the Blu-ray steelbook of that, and then you got Al Pacino, you got Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yep. Michelle Pfeiffer. That's all I can think of, really. Al Pacino and Michelle Pfeiffer. The other names sort of.
They sort of escaped me too, so I'm kind of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit and look because it actually only shows Al Pacino in the J card. But yeah, you've got Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, Robert Loggia, F. Murray Abraham. Yeah, that's all I recognize.
No, Brian.
Out of the cast.
Brian De Palma directed it.
Yes, and Oliver Stone wrote it, right? Yes, Oliver Stone wrote it. So
I love Scarface. Scarface is incredible. Yeah.
Would you call this like
just another movie with? Yeah. That's just another movie with such a good soundtrack.
Yeah. No, totally. Okay, so what would you think with the names that I mentioned? I know, we only thought of Al Pacino and Michelle Pfeiffer at first, but did you recognize any of the other guys that I told you about? Robert Loggia?
Yeah, I recognize the names. Yeah.
Okay. Like all of them, or would you be at a 10 for the cast, or would you maybe go a little bit
10
lower?
For the cast.
Okay.
Oh, lower.
It's a beautiful, a great cast. Okay, so the acting, scale of 1 to 10, what'd you think of the acting here?
I've got to go with a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, go
Good
for a
score.
9.
Yep. Okay, now for the plot. Getting my magnifying glass out.
I love it.
Yeah. So Scarface is the rags to riches story of Cuban immigrant Tony Scarface Montana, who finds wealth, power, and passion beyond his wildest dreams at a price he never imagined. And it talks about Academy Award nominations and stuff like that. So
yeah.
What would you think of that?
Yeah. I don't think it gives it that much justice, but yeah, I would say a good 8.
Okay. Yeah, that's
right.
good.
I would. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm just gonna say it. How could you not give the ending of this movie a 10? Is there anything that you could say that would make this not a 10? I thought this movie ended amazing. So
100%.
Are you at a 10, or would you go a little bit lower?
No. How could you not?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of like I don't want to ask stupid questions, but sometimes I have to. Sometimes I'm like, okay, what would you give the ending on a 1 to 10? It's like, oh, it's The Godfather. I think maybe I'll give it a 10. Or in this case, it's Scarface. It's like, yeah, I can't say. Is there any reason you would not give it a 10? And then if you had a reason and you would give it a 9, then I would say, okay, cool. But usually it's like, no, it's a 10. Okay. And now the story. What did you think of the story of the movie?
Yeah,
Is
loved
it a
it.
10 also? Would you give it?
Yeah, I'd probably go for a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone wrote this so well, and I'm like, this is really good. This script is amazing. Okay, so as a thriller, here are the aspects that I look for in a thriller. Number 1 is the intensity. So how intense was the movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
It was really intense at some point. Yeah, that whole chainsaw scene in the bathtub. Jesus, that was intense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, to where a 10 is like you're white knuckling it in your chair. Your
Yeah,
Dr. Pepper shaking.
yeah,
Your pizza's left in the oven. You're like, damn it, I got to get the pizza. Pause.
yeah.
Um, um, okay, what do you think of the pace of the film? Were there any parts where it dragged a little bit? Did you have any issues with it, or was the pace just perfect for you on a scale of 1 to 10?
It did have pacing issues. It's quite a long movie.
Yeah,
Of
it is. It dragged a little bit for me.
yeah, I feel like they could have 30 to 40 minutes of the movie, and
Oh yeah,
you know, like the whole scene with the car bomb. I think that was very like I didn't really need that.
okay,
That
yeah, I see that.
yeah, the right near the end before before the final. There's a couple other little scenes here and there as well. No, I think it's all right.
Okay, so what number would you
So
put on that?
7.
Okay,
Go for
good,
7. Yeah.
nice. Okay, and then a little bit different from the intensity is the suspense. This is where you're like in anticipation that something's going to happen, where you're like waiting for something to come up, and you're like biting your nails. So, what do you think of the suspense of the film?
10.
10? Yeah.
10. 100%. If you're not
Nice.
if you're not white knuckles at the end, where the guy having a shotgun at the end, like yeah, there's so many scenes as well. The whole
Oh yeah, for sure.
chainsaw scene. Just
Yeah.
yeah, suspense is.
Yeah, the chainsaw scene's amazing. Um, so okay, so then as a crime movie, so the first thing I look for is the criminal element. So the criminal element of the movie, how would you rate how they portrayed that on a 1 to 10?
10.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was too.
they did really well.
Yeah. Nice. And then the last thing is the twist. So was there something that surprised you in the movie with how it happened, or a twist in the movie, kind of like M Night Shyamalan did with The Sixth Sense, to where you're like, oh dude, he was a ghost the whole time. That kind of
No,
twist. Did you get anything like that in the movie? What would you give? Any type of twist or surprise on a scale of 1 to 10, or was it
no, I think the
predictable
only
enough that
surprise.
you were like you kind of knew
No,
what was going to
no,
happen?
I think the only surprise was when Tony shot Gina's, Tony's friend,
Yeah.
that made Gina go crazy. But yeah, surprise, I think, really for me.
Okay. Okay. So 1 to 10 scale, what would you give that?
I could get for like a 9, solid 9.
Okay. Yeah, I thought one surprise. I thought you would go with a lower score on that, but that's cool. All right, so let's total that up. Nice. This one we're a little bit different, a little bit more different,
Yeah.
but great score. Okay, moving on to question number 3 in the hot seat. If you had to pick, what would be your favorite genre?
Horror.
Yes. Okay, favorite horror
Horror
movie of
all day
time.
long. Oh my goodness, that's like picking your favorite
I know.
child.
It's like picking
Isn't it?
your
It's
favorite
like,
child, but pick your favorite horror movie of all. I mean, like if somebody had to put you on the spot, which I just did, and say choose like right now. I know your taste will change. My taste changes, but I have to say that my favorite horror movie of all time has never changed. Because it was the first horror movie I ever watched. I'm sorry, it's the second
okay.
horror movie I've ever watched. So, what's your favorite horror movie of all time? If you had to put a
My go-to is
you,
probably Dream Warriors, like Nightmare on Elm Street,
okay,
Dream Warriors.
Nightmare on
Yeah,
Elm Street 3. Okay, nice, nice. That's my
yeah,
favorite of that franchise for sure.
yeah, so good.
Yeah.
But
Um,
that's literally But because I love Halloween as well, and
right. So, are you more
I
of a slasher movie guy? Do you prefer slasher movies? Do you like zombie movies? Do you like?
I like slashers and like So
Paranormal? Do you like
Conjuring.
demon? Yeah, Conjuring. Okay, I thought you were gonna go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love all of that. I love like
Okay.
the real life paranormal stuff as well. I watch it and like ghost hunting and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be late for you, but if you ever get to join our other stream for Spirits with Spirits, I'd love to have
I'd
you.
love.
Yeah, so I'll let you know we're starting back up on the 30th at
Yeah.
6 p.m. Pacific, so that's like 1 a.m. your time, I think.
Could work.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know what our topic is because we're just starting back up for a new season. But I know that my co-host, he did an investigation at a haunted firehouse.
Wow.
So we might go over the footage. We might look at that. I don't know if he's ready with that though. So we might do locations, which our next location was going to be Venice, Italy. We were going to talk about haunted locations in Venice.
Oh wow, cool.
So
That'd be epic.
Okay. So so we got your go-to horror movie, but yeah, so like slasher, paranormal. You're not are you huge into gore? Do you like the gore movies, or do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like all horror movies are welcome.
All horror movies, like torture,
Okay.
torture,
Nice.
horror, body horror.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Horror's probably my favorite. It's really close though. It's horror, action, sci-fi. It's like right there. But I
Yeah.
do have more horror movies than anything else in my collection.
Yeah.
So,
It is so good.
yeah. So yeah, I have a shelf. Well, I have two shelves. Each hold 1,000 movies each. And one shelf is all horror, just horror movies, and then I've got, the next shelf has like the first two shelves is still the rest of my horror collection. So, and that's just DVD. So, so yeah, I have at least 1,500 horror movies that I know of.
Wow, that's insane.
But yeah, no, that's for the longest time. I would get anything horror related. I loved all things horror movies. I don't blind buy as much anymore with horror movies because I
don't neither.
I've been stabbed in the wrong way a few times with horror movies, and so yeah, I try to look at trailers and get stuff. So yeah, I don't blind buy as much as I used to.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, but I did get a lot of the Shudder ones because I did.
When
like
I
the
used to
Shudder
do
horror
that.
movies.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. I go into my local HMV and just buy, just what's new, add to the collection. Never watch it. It's just in the collection. It takes up too much space, So now I just buy movies that I like, movies that I enjoy. Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, I forgot the
movies that
I had a
I've
picture
seen
from Scarface that I wanted to show, and I forgot to do it. So there it is. So that's the Scarface picture that I picked.
That's epic.
All right. Yeah. So all right, let's jump into
That's
the
such
third
an
movie.
epic scene as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I grabbed it. I was like, oh, as soon as I saw that, I had memories of that scene. So I was like, okay, that's the picture that I want to show.
That's the scene. Yep.
Yep. All right, so let's go with movie number 3. And that is Rocky 4.
Yes. So good.
Nice. Another really good soundtrack.
So good. The 80s are just you can't replicate the 80s. You just can't. It's so good, The soundtrack is just, still to this day, the gym, or go for a run, or go for a walk, or just something to keep fit or active. It's just want to just.
Yeah. If that's not in your playlist when you work out or you're running or something, then yeah, that's I mean, you better have Eye
Yeah.
of the Tiger if you don't have something from Rocky Four.
Yeah, just the whole training montage is
Oh
just
yeah,
so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really because, I was talking to somebody about Rocky Five and how they revisited the movie and they, at first they didn't like it, but after they revisited it, they understood and they appreciated it more. And I was like, you know what? I got to say, Rocky Five had one of my favorite soundtracks.
Hmm.
It was really interesting because you get some Elton John in there. There was some just a whole bunch of artists that did stuff for that movie, and it wasn't like they didn't have the iconic montage music, but there was a lot of good music. It had a good total soundtrack, and so I was really impressed with that. That was one of the actual Rocky soundtracks that I bought was Rocky Five.
I think after Rocky Four, I think like artist for it, and because obviously the soundtrack of Rocky Four did so well
Mm-hmm.
that you have like, oh, we want to be in the film. We want to.
Yeah, we want to do this. So yeah, dot pipes in. Yes, we can't get over the montage. Rocky Four was the best. If he dies, he dies. Totally. Yeah, I love it. All right, so let's talk about the cast. And this is an interesting one because by the time Rocky Four comes out, you got all the original guys from the cast. So you got Sylvester Stallone, you got Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, you got Talia Shire, and now you have Dolph Lundgren. So are you at a 10 for this cast? You like, oh dude, everybody,
Yeah,
right? Exactly.
easy.
I'm
Yeah,
again, stupid question. I'm like, how can we not be at a 10 because we've already had 3 Rocky movies and the cast doesn't change. We have all these guys coming back. So that's where you're like, dude, all these guys. You even got
yeah.
and I'm totally drawing a blank on his name now. Paulie, the person who played Paulie. I think his name's Bert something. Um, but there was something I read where the person who played Paulie, he was actually a boxer back in the day, and he was good.
Oh, wow.
So it was really interesting. It was like he was like 17
Yeah, that
and
sounds
0
awesome.
professionally, and then he retired or something like that. And I
Wow.
was like, wow. So that that would have
Wow.
been that
You
would have
learn
been really cool.
something
And
new
then
every day, right?
yeah, but he had some kind of he was going under his real name. He actually changed his name. So the actor name that he goes by is not the same name that he was as a boxer.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, I'd have to go look that up and see because I remember something about it, but I don't remember what the name was. All right, so what do you
Okay.
think of the acting for Rocky Four?
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, I I mean personally I couldn't give it a 10 because Bridget Nielsen can't act her way out of a paper bag, so I was really disappointed with that. Um, but I got the same thing from Sylvester Stallone, so he was the same as he's always been through the movies. Paulie was the same. Talia Shire, her character grew because in the first Rocky, Talia Shire was kind of like, oh phooey, I burned the darn muffins. But by the time four came out, she was a strong, independent woman who like
Yeah, she was good. Yeah.
yeah, so I love her character arc, how she developed. So, are you at a 10? Are you lower than that? Where are you at on a number scale?
No, I'd probably go for like just for the sheer fact of what you just said as well. So
Yeah, I'm sorry, you said 7?
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
just
that's
for the
where I
just
was.
yeah. See, we're the same, brother. Me and you are the same.
I know you liked Scarface a little bit better than I did, but still, I mean, we're 8 points difference on Scarface.
Yeah, yeah.
But I am not a fan of like mobster movies or criminal movies.
No.
But this is still a phenomenal film.
Yeah.
So
Nor am I really. I'm not really huge on mobster movies. It's just
but
like
you're
I
like
just
this is like I could tell this movie you love this movie because
I
there's something
love the
deeper to
movie
it.
because for me, I don't like mobster movies, but I love the 80s aesthetic.
Yeah,
Love I love the 80s. I love I love the whole aesthetic of the 80s and like the whole vibe. Like, I'd love to go back in time, and yeah.
Well, and you know, and those were my teenage years in the 80s.
Yeah.
So in 1980, I was 10 years old.
That's awesome.
So, and I lived in Washington State when Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980.
Oh my goodness.
So I was right there, and you know they didn't evacuate us on May 18th, but the 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 east side of the mountain blew up, and I was west of the mountain.
Yeah.
So we didn't get hit by that eruption, but the shockwave flipped my bed over in my bedroom.
My God.
With me in it.
That's crazy.
One of the scariest things that I have ever dealt with, because I mean I felt earthquakes. I've had earthquakes, you know, almost my entire life between Washington State and here in California. I deal with earthquakes all the time, but this was like a boom, and then like my whole room just went. Like there was just this wave that just took on the ground, and just everything went up and flipped over and came back down. My whole room was a mess.
Oh my God.
And I'm under my bed, and my bed's on top of me. So it was a trip, man. It was an absolute trip. All right, so let's go with the plot. Unfortunately, I have the Rocky set on Blu-ray. It does not have it does not have any plot or anything like that. But I got a screenshot of the back of the box from the internet. So I'm going to read it off of there. It says, after defeating Clubber Lang, heavyweight boxing champion Rocky Balboa plans to retire. But meanwhile, an amateur boxer from the Soviet Union, Ivan Drago, makes a bid to enter the U.S. boxing ranks. After an exhibition fight with Apollo Creed goes horribly and tragically wrong, Rocky must step in and avenge the death of his friend.
Yeah, I'm sold.
How is that not a 10? I'm totally in.
USA versus Russia.
Exactly. I got my boxing trunks on. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I put my mouthpiece in before I finished reading that.
My mouthpiece.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you know, again, this is one of the most epic endings.
Yeah.
Of a film, period. Not just Rocky, but of any movie. Where
I agree.
It was emotional.
Yep.
It was physical, it was mental, it was political.
Yep.
It was one of those things where you either came out ready to box somebody or you came out of the theater and you're like, "Oh my God, everybody can change." So is there any way that you would not give this a 10 for the ending?
No.
Right? I got to ask the stupid questions. I'm sorry, brother. I got to do it. It's just, I'm like, I would just mark it as a 10, but I've had somebody go, well, I'll give that a 9. And I'm like, really? That was... Rocky almost died. but it's happened. Yeah. So there's no way was Drago an amateur boxer. No.
God.
He might have been an amateur boxer, but he was an angry building. It was like he was a monster.
Yeah.
But man, that was what it needed to be in Rocky IV. They needed a person to be the Russian boxer that was just a mountain standing over Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone's not a big dude. He might be 5'9". I don't think he's that tall at all. But Dolph Lundgren's 6'4", and he just towered over Rocky. And I was like, man. And they both looked like they were cut out of granite. It was just unbelievable.
So good.
You know, this is where I was like, you know, okay, this is where they got the workouts for like Captain America and those guys for
Oh,
all the superhero
100%.
movies.
I mean, that whole training montage in Russia was just so good.
It was epic, and he did it all with like regular stuff, logs and wood and running in the
Yep.
snow and things like that, and
Climbing mountains.
he was climbing mountains and he was matching it up with what Drago was doing with all the newfangled, equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, Turner fan, my brother, he's joined us. How you doing, man?
What's up, bro?
So okay, so now we're talking about the story of Rocky Four. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think the story played out? Were there holes in it? Did it do everything that you wanted?
It
What would
did
you give that?
everything I wanted, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything you want out
You got
of a movie.
Apollo's death,
hmm
and how that kind of fuels him to come in because yeah, he was like, I'm done. I'm kind of ready to like hang it up, and then Apollo gets killed by this guy, and he's like, nope, I gotta fight him. I gotta do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yes.
80s, so it's kind of a simple plot, but you're you know you're not coloring outside the lines. It's like
No.
here's what you get, and you don't go, oh crap, there's something over here that I didn't know about. No, you got Apollo dies, Rocky takes him on.
Yeah,
They're
it's
doing
one
it
of
in
those movies, isn't it? It's one of those movies that you can just stick on and you know getting.
Yeah,
It's a Rocky movie,
yeah.
but you get
It's
in the best Rocky movie.
yeah. I think of it like I need this type of feeling. So like I need to feel like I'm jazzed. I need to pump myself up, or I need to feel better about myself. I'll put in Rocky Four.
Yeah.
It's Rocky Four or it's Big Trouble in Little China. Those would probably be my go tos for like I want to feel better. I'm a little down in
Yeah.
the dumps, or I'm a little sluggish right now. Let's get hyped up. Or right before I'm gonna go work out.
I'm gonna be controversial and say I've never seen it. You've never seen Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah.
Wait. What?
I know. I know.
Oh my god, that's brother.
I know. I'm gonna change that. I need to change that 100%.
I mean, if you're an '80s freak, if you're an '80s movie lover like I am, you've got to see that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, just I don't feel any less. I still love you, brother. It's not. I don't feel less of you. I'm not. I'm not insulted by that, but it hurt a little bit. It did. That was a low blow, brother.
bro.
That was a low blow. It was right in the sack. But okay, so score it on a 1 to 10. What did you think of the story? Would you?
Yeah, 10.
Okay.
Yeah, straight up
Nice.
10. Good story.
Okay. So I have this listed as an action movie with a sport type. So it's based on a sport. So with action, the first thing I look for is the violence. How
Yep.
violent was the movie? What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, it's violent in not the technical sense that you would
not in the
think
like
a violent movie
gunfire
would be.
or
No, but the battle was like if you're a fight fan, that battle, man, it's just that match was just something else.
and not just the Drago Stallone battle, not just the Drago Rocky battle, but the one with Apollo Creed. That was
I mean, yeah.
I mean, he just like I was gonna say he murdered that guy, and he actually did. He murdered that guy in the movie. But okay, so let's put a number on it. I mean, I'm like did I put a 10 on that? No, I didn't.
No.
Because there's really only two major violent scenes, but it takes up more than half of the movie.
I'm probably gonna go 5.
Okay.
What did you give it?
I actually gave it a 7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works.
Because I went for I was like the sports violence for what it
Yeah.
was really good. So and it did take up half the movie. So, but yeah, it wasn't like, and there was only one death, so it wasn't like there's a body count or things are happening. But for it being a boxing movie, it was pretty violent.
Yeah.
Because if you watch other boxing movies in the '80s, um, like I'm trying to think of, there's one with Antonio Banderas, and I can't remember the name of it,
Right. Okay.
but you hardly see the the boxing. You hardly see the violence of it. And in this
The
movie, you
physicality.
you saw the punch hit, and you saw the mouthpiece go out of his mouth. I mean, they were hitting each other. I mean, yeah, they were staging it, but they were making contact in the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found it a little bit more violent than that. And there was blood and swelling of the face and things like that. And coming from I do have an amateur kickboxing background, so I know how that hurts.
Yeah.
Man, it hurts. And with the pro wrestling
Yeah.
background, I know how that hurts too. Because I've been punched in the face for real because you step in a little bit too far, and,
Yeah.
and puh,
Yeah. Haven't got a glass jaw anymore. Yeah.
ow, then you take a shot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kicked so hard by someone I needed to stop the match. Unfortunately, we were in practice, but he kicked me so hard I was like, okay, wait, I got a minute. I was like rolled out of the ring.
Oh my god,
But
brother.
oh man, it took the wind right out of me. It was
Yeah.
awful. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's an action movie. I got to have a good pace. What did you think of the pace of the film?
Did everything needed to. I thought it was paced absolutely fine, to be honest.
Okay, all right. So what would you
But
give it on a 1 to 10?
9.
Nine.
Let's
All
go
right,
9 on it.
good,
Yeah.
solid. And then the special effects. So what do you think of what are the effects of the film? And I'm not thinking like, but like in the fight scenes, how they did it to where they weren't hitting like super hard, but the effects made it look like they were hitting super hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go straight 10 on that because it did
Nice.
look great.
It did. I thought it was phenomenal. One of the best boxing scenes was his fight with Drago. I thought
Yeah.
it was amazing.
You got the swelling and
You
everything.
got the
Just yeah.
swelling, and
Look.
the slow motion thing where it's like, "Kuh,"
Yeah.
and everything's flying out of his mouth, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
I know I've been hit like that. So it's like,
I know how you feel, bro.
oh, let me pick one of my eyes up off the.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better. I put my eye back
Yeah.
in. Okay, so now we're talking about a sports movie. So, two things I like in a sports movie. Number one is we talk about the sport itself. How did they portray the sport of boxing? I know it's kind of, I'm going to call it a four-color universe because they really embellished on a lot of stuff
Yeah.
with the way boxing is truly versus what Rocky did. So, as far as its reference to the sport itself, what would you give that on a 1 to 10?
Because I know so many amateur boxers in the UK that I know personally through watching the Rocky. Just people passionate about getting fit, getting into combat sports. Yeah,
Right.
I think it's influenced so many people,
Yeah. Oh, sure.
especially like healthy
So,
lifestyle.
yeah. So I didn't get your score though. What would you give it?
10. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and then the last thing, and this almost plays to the Rocky movies, is I want some kind of triumph over adversity, like some kind of, like, against all odds, he did it, or he made it. So, again, stupid question: is there any way that this is not?
Nope. Nope. Straight 10. Straight 10,
10.
brother.
Yep. Nice. Good score too. We're 5 points different on
Wow.
that. All right, we got two more. We got two more movies left. We've got two more questions left. Let's go to question 4. This might trip you up a little bit. So, question 4 is, who is on your Mount Rushmore of actors and actresses? So, if you could pick 4 people, male and female together, who would be your 4 actors and actresses? Like, if you knew that they were doing a movie, you would buy that movie or go see it.
Um,
Yeah, I don't want to say like the best actors of all time, but like ones where you're like, oh, dude, that person's in it. I want to go see that movie.
oh, okay. So that's difficult because there's so many that.
Right.
Is it
Like I
like
said, yeah,
past and present? Is it, or can you
yeah,
do
yeah,
like
past
yeah?
and present. Yeah.
All right, so we gotta go. Robin Williams. Williams is just like
Oh, great pick.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Um, we'll go with Sean Connery.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Sean Connery. Horror and like Robert England would put him up for
Okay.
Nightmare. And then this used on this one. This um like put me right on the spot on this one. And let's go with
Yeah.
Jane for
Oh.
for
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Nice.
Who's yours? What's yours?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say hi to Jerry. Jerry, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining. Um, Jerry's really good. He tries to get in on all my streams, so absolute cool
Yeah.
guy. Um, okay, so mine's. I was really surprised by your Robert Englund, and I was like, oh man, great surprise pick. Um, I might put Robin Williams on mine from here on out because you said Robin Williams, and I was like, oh brother, that's a great one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so what I have right now, so I have Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Absolutely, if I find something with Tom Hanks in it, I will go see it.
100%.
And then Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
I think she is brilliant. And Stanley Tucci.
It makes sense now. Now see, now when you say yours, I'm like, oh man, mine just seems weak. But like it's
No,
head
it's
like
yeah. I was just, but yeah, I think Kate Blanchett and Stanley Tucci, and I honorable mention to Gary Oldman. He is kind of like another one where I'm like, oh man, he can play anything. But
yeah.
I think that Kate Blanchett and Stanley Tucci are like Swiss Army knives. They can do any type of movie, they can do any genre, any role, and they just kill it. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would watch. I have a zombie movie starring Stanley Tucci as a zombie, and I
Yep.
love it. I absolutely. It's a horrible movie, but I love it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
It's the same with
so
De
good. All right.
Niro. He can do anything, can't he?
Oh, De Niro's amazing. One of my. Have you ever seen Stardust?
No.
Okay, a lot of people haven't. Okay, so it's 2009, I think 2009, 2007. But it's Robert De Niro, Charlie Cox, Claire Danes. It's got this huge cast. God, Ricky Gervais, Michelle Pfeiffer. My daughter just yells at me. Um, but it's got this amazing cast, and Robert De Niro plays a I'm I'm just gonna say a homosexual pirate, but the ship flies in the air and collects lightning bolts. So this is like an ultimate fantasy story. Oh, Peter O'Toole's in it. I mean, it's just there's a huge cast. Mark Strong. It's amazing. Um, but it's got magic and sorcery and
Oh,
sword
awesome.
fights, and it's just dude, it's basically it's the it's the 21st century's Princess Bride is how I term it.
Awesome.
Okay, because Princess Bride's like another one of my favorite movies, and
So I've got to add that
but this is
to this next, the Big Trouble in Little China.
if you get a chance to watch Big Trouble in Little China first. You have to watch that first, and then
Stardust.
and then try to catch Stardust, because it's definitely one of my favorite fantasy films ever.
Okay, man.
But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. But oh, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro is amazing in this movie
Oh, wow.
because he's this like gruff and like what he normally is. So take take his character from The Godfather and make him a pirate, and that's how he plays on the surface. But underneath, he's a sensitive, loving person who does all this stuff for these people, and it's just so funny because the crew kind of knows what he is, but they still treat him with respect. And it's just an amazing dynamic. If you watch the movie, just watch Robert De Niro's character in it and how he plays it, and I think you'll really love it. It's like one of his best acting roles, one of his best portrayals that I've ever seen.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Okay, 2 more movies. Let's go. Oh, Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. Awesome.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, wait. Hold on. Whoop. That's Vampire. I forgot my Rocky picture. That's my Rocky picture.
Awesome. That's an epic.
Right. That's where I was like, that's where like the special effects and the way that they did the boxing, where it was just, and you could see him just taking. Oh yeah, loved it. Okay, back to where we were at. Karate Kid.
Yep.
I'm sorry. This was my coming of age movie.
It's so good.
This was like it was this, and it was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It was really like these were my 2 favorite movies at that time when they came out. So let's talk about the cast. This is actually this is the one movie where I'm not at a 10 for the cast. It's kind of interesting because you got of course you got Pat Morita, you got Ralph Macchio, you got Elizabeth Shue,
William Zabaka.
Right. So yeah, and that's kind of where I was at. So I'm at 8 on the cast.
Yep.
Is there anyone else that you know out of the movie? It doesn't have a really big cast. There's those core people. Martin Cove. So I actually knew Martin Cove before I knew Johnny's name. But so I went Martin Cove, but
yeah, I'll go with on the cast.
7?
Yeah, because I didn't really know any of them.
Yeah. Okay, what'd you think of the acting? 1 to 10.
Probably go for like a 6 or 7.
Okay.
On the act. Right.
7? We'll go 7 or?
Yeah, we'll go 7. Yeah.
All right. All right, let's go with the plot. And again, so I have the Blu-ray Steelbook of that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Cobra Kai. And
that's really...
I've got the Cobra Kai shirt.
Have you seen the series on Netflix?
Yeah. I've seen season 1 and 2, but I haven't gotten into 3 yet.
Oh man, you gotta get 3 and 4, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome.
But I like it. I'm so jazzed. It totally brings out my 80s feels with it, and it's so fun. Yeah,
3 and 4, then 100%.
yeah. Okay, so there is more to karate than fighting. This is the lesson that Daniel, a San Fernando Valley teenager, is about to learn from a most unexpected teacher, Mr. Miyagi, an elderly handyman who happens to be a master of martial arts. No, he wasn't. But so when he rescues Daniel from the Cobra Kai, a vicious gang of karate school bullies, Miyagi instills in his young friend the importance of honor and confidence as well as skills in self-defense. Vital lessons that will be called into play when a hopelessly outclassed Daniel faces Johnny, the sadistic leader of the Cobra Kai, in a no-holds-barred karate tournament for the championship of the Valley. That is the longest plot I have read all day, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I'm sold. Sold. 10.
10. Yeah, I was too. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to watch that. You're the best. Another soundtrack. Soundtrack is amazing in this movie.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, like you said, it was the 80s.
Yeah.
That era just had this great music.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Rocky over here too since I'm done with you. We've got one more left after this. Okay, what'd you think of the ending? And, I'm going to...
Yeah. They need to.
What does it say? So, watched it for the first time 3 months ago. Great film, and I'm thinking that was Rocky 4, or maybe he was talking about something else.
Yeah. Jerry, you need to...
Can't get that one. Brian Miller is saying hello to us. Hey, Brian. Thanks for joining. I miss these chats. I got an emoji, but I can't bring it up. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I can't show that. Anyway. Okay, so ending. I mean, again, is this not a 10? Because the
That's a 10. Yes.
You're just like, and then Daniel LaRusso does this, and you're like, he's doing the crane, and I was like, son of a...
Yeah.
I was like, and then Martin Cove's like, finish him, and you're just like, all this stuff's going, and Miyagi's shaking his head, and then the whole thing happens, and it was just a really quick thing, and you're like, yeah, and that was, it's 10. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you a 10.
It's
if you
quality.
don't want to give it a 10, it's too late. I already gave you a 10.
No, I'm happy with that.
Okay, good. Okay, so the story of the movie.
Yeah, story was good.
Yeah. I did like the story. I didn't give it a 10 though, but I like how it played out. And it was... What would you give it on a 1 to 10?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go for like a 7 on that one.
Okay. Yeah, so did I. For the life of me, I didn't want to call this an action movie.
Aye.
But it is absolutely labeled as an action movie. But I think it's more of a drama, personally.
Yeah, it's like a teen sort of...
Yeah, I think... Well, I think it's like a coming of age...
Yeah.
Teen movie is kind of what I call it. But, I mean, I'm forced to say action because it's technically an action movie. So I have it as an action martial arts, but a teen movie.
Yep.
So the type is a teen movie. So we're going to talk about the teen elements that we're dealing with here. So I don't want to say it, but the violence, and I'm not going to say that it's violent, but we're going to talk about the martial arts scenes in the movie.
Yep.
How well are they done, and not just by the main guys, but there was some really good martial arts going on in the tournament. If you're watching, there were some really good martial artists in there.
Oh, and the all yeah, there is
Yeah.
some fantastic
So,
yeah.
and you know, unfortunately, the score for this movie suffered a little bit for me because I don't think of it as a violent movie. Um,
No,
so what would you give this on a 1 to 10? Not the violence, but just like the action and the fighting overall.
go for like an 8.
Okay.
Give it an 8. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Um, so and the pace of the film.
Pacing was a bit movie that I think they could have done with being half-hour shorter
Yeah.
because I'm gonna put some lights on because it's getting dark in the UK now. So yeah, it's one of been about a half-hour shorter. I think they could have um, done with cutting a few.
Okay. Um, yeah. So what would you put a number on that?
We're gonna go for 6.
Okay. And then, you know, I don't really want to call it special effects, but let's call it stunts. What do you think of the stunts of the movie? Because this is where the special effects kind of come into play, is in the
Yeah,
stunt work.
we're
So,
gonna
and I thought
go
the
for it.
stunt work was okay.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go for like an 8. I think
Okay.
the effect for the martial arts were quite good.
Okay. Good.
It's a lot better done in Cobra Kai than it is in.
Yeah. But again, you know, we're present day. It's not the 80s
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
And then realistically, Ralph Macchio knew nothing about martial arts.
No, he
Um,
was just a kid from New York, wasn't he? So
yeah.
he really.
Okay. So now we're talking about the teen movie type. And
Hmm.
what did you think about the teen elements, like the teen stuff growing up with the girl and the dating and the bullying and all that kind of stuff? So taking the martial arts out of play, just that stuff. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I'll go for a 9. I thought it was good.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm down for that. I give that a 9 as well. And that's interesting. You know, there's several people that say that Daniel LaRusso was the bully in this movie.
Yeah, I know. Cobra Kai.
What are your feelings behind that? Do you think? Because I mean I look at it and I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, I do see some elements of that where he was doing some revenge stuff, and
yeah,
I mean yeah he
yeah,
could have ended it with that first, okay, you beat me up, okay, we're good. But you know, he
yeah,
went and did that thing with when they were smoking the joint in the bathroom, and he puts the hose down on him. So he kind of got him back, and then he got beat up for it. So,
yeah.
you know, was Daniel LaRusso the real villain in the movie?
And it all kind of makes sense in Cobra Kai, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, just the first two seasons
Yeah,
I saw where I was like, okay, Johnny's
he's
seeming
a
like the good guy.
douchebag. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Daniel seems
And
like a douche.
and Daniel seems like, because you know he's like the car salesman and doing all this stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's totally interesting. Okay, so anyway, so the last thing I like in a teen movie or a coming of age movie like this is the growth of the character.
Yeah,
And how do you think Daniel Russo grew in the movie? What would you give that on a 1 to 10?
yeah, I go for a 10.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
We're 2 points different on
wow.
that. All right, we got one left, and we've got one question left. And I'm going to tell
Awesome.
you, this is the hardest question I've I've ever given someone. Everybody has gone, oh wow, I don't know how to answer this question. So you can think of this in so many different ways. Literally, you can think philosophically, you can think metaphorically, whatever. But if you had to say something about this, what does watching movies mean to you?
Escapism. Yeah.
That's usually the first term I get, or one of the things I get from everybody is escapism, and it's exactly right.
Yeah. It's just
Would you put any other spin on that? Do you think of it like
it helps my obviously I've gone through a lot in my life, like
yeah,
losing a child, struggle with a lot of like depression and mental health, and I'm on medication for that.
yeah?
So
We should
when
talk
I put
about
on the
that,
movie,
brother. You and I are in the same boat with a lot of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we should definitely like on
we should chat offline about that because I
yeah,
feel you, brother. I know, I understand. Um,
cool. Losing a child and then going to having to deal with depression and shit. But I won't bring the stream down. I'll keep it positive. But
no, don't.
I
Yeah,
find
come on. What are you doing?
that
We're supposed to
movies,
be all flowers and candy here. It's not supposed to be,
yeah.
somber.
Um.
But no, if it takes a serious note, we take a serious note. But then we come back to the movie. But
Yeah. So the move. So it's like it helps take my mind off things. Like partying, or I don't go out drinking. I don't. It's not my. I might have a few beers at home. But I'm kind of like I like being in my home comfort. So I get anxiety when I'm out home. I like buying movies brings me happiness. Like HMV, pick up a few 4Ks. I come home, I feel happy. It's like,
yeah,
and I've watched the movies, or I stream a movie, and I just zone out. I think that's going on in the world. I forget everything that's going on in my life, my personal life, and
yeah,
I'm happy.
yeah.
So yeah,
I love that, brother. That's great. I completely agree with you. And one of my favorite things was I loved going to a movie store and I love the hunt, looking for something that I want to buy, and you can't do that in America anymore. There's so few stores now. I mean, Target's already like clearing their shelves. I would say next year they're not going to have any movies in store. And Best Buy, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, they're all going to follow suit soon to where nobody's going to have anything in store. You're going to have to order online. And
oh my goodness.
I would say 2 years max, and we won't be able to buy anything in store. So
No.
I hate that the days of the hunt in the U.S. is over because we can't. I mean, I had when I went to a baby shower for my niece, early July, and they had a Barnes and Noble, and I was like, oh my god, I get to go and hunt and get my first Criterion movies and get a couple of Arrow releases and stuff like that, and I was so excited. It was like the greatest thing. So what I've equated that to now is I have the unboxings that I get to do. So I pre-order everything, but I never look as to what got delivered. So it's like Christmas for me. So I have no idea
So it's like
what's
surprise.
in this box. Yeah, I have no idea what's in this box, and I open up and I go, oh yeah, it's this. I mean, I suspect, but I never looked. It says your package was delivered. I never look and see what was delivered.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And that's my substitute now. It's my, if I can't drink alcohol anymore, that's my 0% alcohol substitute.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like
100%,
beers.
man.
I like drinking. I'm a beer person. I absolutely love to drink beer, but I do not like going out and drinking.
No. No, me neither.
Number one, it costs too much to go out and drink.
Ridiculous.
I'd rather buy a 6-pack of the beer that I want to drink instead of settle for whatever a bar has. And then I can come home and I can drink one, I can drink 4, I can drink as many as I want. I can watch movies that I want, and I don't have to worry about dealing with people.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I don't want to go to a bar, and I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've. No, I can tell you 3 times I've been to a bar, and I've had one drink, and then I end up getting into a fight
Yeah.
because somebody is too drunk and too stupid to do something, and I've got to step in and protect a lady, or
Yeah.
you know
Yep.
they'll just come and pick a fight with me because I'm not very big, and I'm just like, dude, I don't want to just
Yeah.
go, but yeah, sometimes you have no choice, but
Yeah.
but I mean, 3 bar fights. I'm 52 years old. I don't think that's too bad.
That's not too bad. No,
That's not too
that's not
bad.
too bad.
But then I have to say, I stopped really going to bars and drinking by the time I was 22. So it
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not dealing with that anymore.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So we're off to our last movie, brother, and this has been an amazing show. Thank you so much for being
Oh, it's been
on with
awesome,
me.
man. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Oh no, it's been great. Like I said, I knew we'd be friends right away.
Oh, 100%, brother. 100.
So, okay, so our last movie, quite possibly our best one yet, is the original Terminator.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Man, amazing. Okay, so the cast.
Yes.
I mean, you've got
Schwarzenegger.
You've got Arnold. You've got Michael Biehn. You've got Linda Hamilton. You've got a young Bill Paxton in there. You've got. I mean, I'm just like, I'm out. I mean, it's such a cast.
Yeah.
But
Good
people
old
that
Bill
you know
Paxton.
and you recognize, would you get it? Would you give it a 10, or
Yeah.
are you?
A 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm totally on
Brother,
board with
it's
that.
spoiler alert, but I think all of these are going to be 10s.
I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so, but be objective. Think about what we're talking about. So, acting. So, what do you think of the acting in the film?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, solid.
Would you give
solid
it a 10,
acting.
though? I mean, this is
Yeah.
like one of Arnold's first movies, so he just had his one-liners and stuff. I know. I was not at a 10 with the acting on this, but still really good. I thought it was a solid job.
I'm probably going to go, just if we're being serious, about an 8.
Okay, that's what I did.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's read the plot. I'm still kind of like, is this not going to be a 10? Arnold Schwarzenegger stars as the most fierce and relentless killing machine ever to threaten the survival of mankind. I'm already at a 10. An indestructible
20.
An indestructible cyborg, a Terminator, is sent back in time to kill Sarah Connor, the woman whose unborn son will become humanity's only hope in a future war against machines. Okay, I'm at a 15. This legendary sci-fi thriller from okay, and then it talks about Academy Award nominees. So yeah, if I could give this a 15, I'd give it a 15.
There with you, brother.
So yeah, I think we're just gonna throw a 10 on this, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as it said like the fate of all humanity, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that's like
And he goes back in time. I'm like, oh my god, he's from the future, dude. I'm like,
take my money.
Excited. Yeah, here's my wallet. I hand you my wallet. Take whatever you think is appropriate. Okay. Let's talk about the ending. Are you at a 10 for the ending? Would you give it a little bit lower? And I was like, okay, I don't want to consider Terminator 2 was probably my 10 ending.
Yeah.
Because that was like the epic with the thumb and the
Yeah.
So I had to like, okay, it's not as good as Terminator 2, but would I give it a 10 or would I give it slightly lower? What do you think of the ending?
I'm not gonna give it a solid 10, but 9. I get like Terminator 1. It's it's certainly a horror movie. It's very much cat and mouse horror.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Jerry's throwing us some fire. Thanks, Jerry. So, okay, what do you think of the story? Beginning, middle, and end? Did it play out the way you wanted? Have any holes in it? Did you?
10.
Okay, awesome. Did you
Yep,
did
love
you
the
think that this was
story.
going to be a film by itself, or did you think by the ending that there was going to be a sequel?
And so there was like already like Terminator 2 works, and when I started watching Terminator when I was like 8, so it would have been like 96 maybe. I don't 94.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're way younger than I am. So.
I'm 32. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm 20 years older than you.
Well, you look 30. I didn't think. I thought.
Oh, I really appreciate that. But maybe this isn't high definition. but, but no, God, it's so funny. My oldest son is 2 years younger than you.
Oh my god. It's crazy.
Okay, so I'm feeling a little old right now. So I have this listed as a sci-fi. And again, it doesn't do. I mean, sci-fi does it justice. It's definitely a sci-fi movie. But if I had to put a type of movie, I'd call it a time travel movie.
Yeah.
Because going through time, there's a lot of future elements and doing stuff in the past and things like that. So I really like the time elements. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the first thing. Yeah, it's a sci-fi movie, but
with horror elements.
Yeah, there's definitely some horror elements. So the first thing that I want in a sci-fi movie is good special effects.
Yeah.
And James Cameron really kind of knocked it out of the park here for me.
Oh, yeah, he always does,
as
doesn't he? Yeah.
As old as it is. You want to? Okay.
Oh, hi.
So you got my... No, you can't draw on that. You're silly. So, this is Piper. This is my granddaughter.
Oh. Hi, Piper.
Yeah? You say hi? No? You're just going to be bashful? Showing your tutu? Say hi. You say hi?
Hi.
That's Matt. That's Matt. No? Okay. You want... Okay, back down then. Good mama. I knew she was going to jump in. She likes to jump in on the stream.
So does she live with you, your granddaughter?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah, she lives with me. She and my daughter live with me right now.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's too hard, cost of living wise, to afford a place right now. It's
same.
Just so hard. So I'm like,
same here in the UK, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I have 3 floors in my house, and this is the house that my father built. So I basically took over this house.
Yeah.
And the basement level of the house is like a separate apartment. Has its own separate entrance, own kitchen, all that kind of stuff. So my daughter and granddaughter kind of have that. They rent that downstairs. So it's basically like they have their own place, but they're close. They're here. So.
But it's just
they can come and go as they please.
It's literally the same over here, man. It's a ridiculous.
It's
the gas
hard.
price.
I mean,
is the gas. Yes, crazy.
Gas prices are crazy, and yeah, for me to go to the theater, it's a 1-hour trip one way. So for me to do any type of shopping, it's like that too. I mean, I live in a town of 1,500 people, so it's there's a general store and there's a mercantile where you can get your hardware, and you can get some groceries, but a gallon of milk here.
Yeah, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're in California.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How far are you from LA?
It's about a 5-hour drive to LA.
5-hour drive. Okay. Yeah. Same from me to London. So yeah.
Okay. So whereabouts are you?
Cornwall.
Okay.
So it's like the southwest of the UK.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. All right. Awesome.
So
So yeah, I mean, I think California and the UK are roughly the same size. So,
yeah,
except we have way more people. But
yeah,
I don't know. London's a big city, but so is LA.
yeah.
But anyway, so I if you were to look at California on a map, I am like almost smack dab in the middle of the state,
Okay.
and I'm right at the base of Sequoia National Park. So if
Oh,
you were to
okay.
look
Cool.
that up, where the giant redwood trees are, that's where I'm at.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'm two
Oh,
miles from the
that's
park
epic.
entrance. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm in the mountains basically, where I'm at.
Oh, awesome.
So that's why I can have my movie up really loud, and I have to
yeah.
chase bears off my front porch. But I love it.
You're in the redneck side of
Yes,
California.
I'm in the movie Deliverance all the time. No, um, okay. So the first thing I want in a sci-fi movie is I want good special effects. So what would we give the
yeah.
special effects? Is this not a 10 for the time period?
Yeah. 100%.
If this was Spinal
James
Tap,
Cameron knocks it out of the
yeah,
park.
yeah.
Yeah.
If this was Spinal Tap, I'd give this an 11. But unfortunately, we can only go up to 10.
Yeah.
And then sci-fi movie. I want a good pace. What do you think of the pace of the film?
yep. Yeah. I thought it was good. Good pacing.
Okay, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
What would
It
you
knew
give
what
it?
it was doing. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What was your number?
No.
9. Got it.
9. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then the last thing for a sci-fi movie is the technology.
Yep.
What would you give the technology of this movie? I know they came back in time, so it's kind of modern, but you're looking at the Terminator robot is kind of the
And
source.
yeah.
You're a 10?
Yeah. For the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we look at the time elements of the movie because it's a time travel movie. So this is where, kind of like Back to the Future, where past affects present and present affects future and
Yeah.
things like
Yep.
that. How did you think they dealt with the time elements of this movie on a 1 to 10?
Yeah. 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the yeah.
Nice. And then I kind of think of this like, when you're dealing with time travel, it's a pretty intense situation. So what would you label the intensity of this movie on a 1 to 10?
The intensity is a 10. That whole nightclub scene in the nightclub, and he
Mm-hmm.
walks in. That's so intense, man. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when he's got the laser sights on a. Oh man,
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah, this was kind of what I was looking at for the effects and the technology and stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Su- such a great, such a great movie. I I want to go back and watch it again. I watched it before our show, and I want to go back and watch it another time. Um,
Yeah.
and I really wish I had the steelbook of this, but I just have the this the special edition with the
A
red case.
4K.
Yeah,
We need a 4K.
I need a 4K. I need a 4K.
Yeah. We.
I've got the 4K of Terminator 2. I've got that steelbook. I've heard bad things about it, so I haven't watched the transfer yet. But
No.
I do like I do. Are you a Terminator or a T2 person? Which one would you prefer?
Terminator.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm a T2 person. I
100.
prefer T2 over
Yep.
Terminator because Terminator
Yep.
kind of established the story for me.
Yep.
And then in Terminator 2, it is all action. It is balls out. Everybody explodes. Great car chases. Huge explosions. You got Robert Patrick as a liquid metal dude that can. I'm like that is awesome. That was yeah. So I was just Terminator 2.
Yeah.
I am Terminator 2 all day and twice on Sunday, but I love the original Terminator. It started the whole shebang. But
That
I
whole.
really yeah. 'Cause I asked you about did you expect a sequel by when you finished this, and I really didn't expect a sequel. when I finished
No.
this movie, I was like, okay, I think they're good. I think they're done. They did the stuff, but they did leave a little bit open at the end to where a second movie could come out. I really
That's
think
it.
they
When
should
Sarah
have
Connor was
stopped
driving
there.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think they should have stopped there and just did T2 and that was it. Because after that, I think they really kind of faltered a little bit. They were still fun to watch,
Yeah.
but they were really trying to retell the story and do all kinds of weird stuff, and I wasn't down for a lot of that.
Oh,
Okay,
I agree.
so you weren't tens across the board, brother. I got you to knock down a little bit, but you're damn close.
Oh man.
Yeah, you were so close. Okay, are you ready for your results?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
All right.
Yeah.
So here we go. At number 5, so your fifth out of the 5 movies you gave me, lowest score with an 80 is Lost Boys.
Ooh, damn. That's
Okay.
crazy. Yeah.
In 4th place with an 82 is Karate Kid. Now we're getting into some numbers. 3rd place with a 91 out of 100 is Rocky 4.
Wow.
2nd place with a 93 out of 100 is Scarface.
Wow. Terminator for the win then.
Terminator for the win. Your score 96 out of 100.
That's awesome. Wow.
That's awesome.
This was so great.
Good. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you liked it.
I had an
So,
absolute blast.
I'm glad. It's interesting. So my ranking. So my number 5 was Karate Kid
Yep.
with an 80. So I was an 80. You were 82. My number 4 was Lost Boys with an 81, and you were an 80. So like I said, all my movies ended up really close together. My number 3 was Scarface with an 85. My number 2 was Rocky 4 with an 86.
Wow.
And my number 1 was Terminator with an 87.
Yeah. Yes. So we both got Terminator for number
We
1.
both got Terminator as our number 1. So, yeah, no doubt. But, brother, I had a great time.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It's
Man,
been awesome.
I love this. This was great. I love talking with you about movies and learning more about you as a person. And
Oh, and you,
it's an
brother.
honor. It's been a real honor.
I had such a good time, man. And we'll
All right.
hang out again soon. We'll do like an Instagram
We
stream.
do. Jerry says good show. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Jerry.
So, but before we go, I want you to go ahead and are you on anything else other than Instagram? Because I don't think you have a YouTube channel.
Just Instagram and TikTok. Yeah.
Okay.
Vengeance
so go ahead
Media.
And plug your,
Yeah.
I did put your shortcut on Instagram, but I didn't know your TikTok account. So go ahead and
Thank you.
plug your
Yeah, it's
stuff.
Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. I do hauls, pickups, HMV, TikTok video as well. So that's under Vengeance Media as well. So you guys can find me on there. So David for having me. I've had a really great time, even though I'm dosed up on so much medication right now. I'm not.
Yeah, no. I put you on the spot with some of those questions when you're on that medication.
Yeah,
so I'm not going to apologize for that. I think I'm happy. I'm happy with the results.
I'm currently seeing stars right now. Yeah, so but
Nice.
I didn't want to miss it, man. So I was.
No, I'm glad.
like, no.
I'm glad you toughed it out and came on. And I know you were hurting, but you said you're back and you're ready to go. And
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on,
awesome.
David.
I got one more picture to show you, and
Yep.
that is my first autograph as a pro wrestler. That my first autograph that I signed.
Oh, Wow. That's epic.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun as a pro wrestler, and it was, but I came in a little bit too late, and my body gave out pretty soon. So I only did 4 years, and I had a couple of almosts where I almost get a contract with WWE. I almost got a contract in Japan. And then I almost got a contract with TNA when they were first starting.
Wow. I bet that was awesome.
It was awesome. They wanted me. They were eyeing me to be their referee for the X Division. So I would referee all X Division matches because
Oh,
I had I dropped from being a wrestler and I went to being a referee, but I could still take a bump because I trained as a wrestler. So
referee is a lot of work. People think it's easy, but
because you're not doing just one match.
No.
when you're a referee, you're doing 3 or 4 matches, and then usually I always had the last match where I had to take a shot, and usually it was from a chair or a cookie sheet. The worst one though is one of the wrestlers hit me over the head with a fluorescent light bulb.
Yeah, Jesus.
And that hurt. They were picking glass out of the back of my head. So when somebody says it's fake, that shot was not fake.
and you got that. I mean, supervisors, because like they're there to make sure the bumps don't go wrong. So
yeah,
and you got to be, your timing's got to be perfect as well. Like with the whole pin count.
You got to be perfect, and a lot of times you're not. I mean, the first thing they teach you when you train to be a wrestler is they teach you how to take a bump. They teach you how to fall. Because that's the important thing, and that's got to be habit. So, no matter what happens, if you're falling down to the bat, you got to know how to land.
Yeah.
To hopefully not hurt yourself, as to disperse the energy, so you're not taking all of the shot to one part of your body. But yeah, punches, kicks, slams, moves, a lot of stuff. You actually get hit for real because you've got 2 people moving at full speed.
Yeah.
And they we try not to make full contact, but it happens.
It happens.
So
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It absolutely every match it's going to happen. And that's the thing.
It's so annoying. It frustrates me so much. It gets me so frustrated when people say, "Oh, it's not real. It's predetermined, but it's you take a bump. I open and you tell me if that's real. You tell me if you feel that, because it will it knocks the wind out of you. It does.
No, and it jars your whole body. I mean, if you do it, you're doing it like, gosh, I'm gonna say 20 times a match.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you can equate this to anything, but I can feel my organs moving inside my body when I take a bump.
Yeah.
Because you're going back and you're landing on the mat, and I mean, you check your chin to your chest so you don't take it. You spread your back out so the weight dispersal, but still your whole body is just slammed. Into a solid object, and your organs kind of stir around. And I got to tell you, it got to the point where I was hurt after every show.
Yeah.
And then it was the recovery was getting longer and longer to be ready for the next show.
It's crazy because you're running on adrenaline, so you it's not until I find till the next. Oh, actually, that fucking hurts.
Well, you get backstage and you go, oh man, good match. You hug it out, you talk to the guy a little bit, and then you go to the dressing room to change, and you're like, oh, damn. You go home and you've got this bruise like this on your head, and you're like, how the heck did that happen? I can't tell you how many times I've bled in the match and not known that I was bleeding.
That's it.
I mean, there are occasions where people do that. It's called blading, to where they do it on purpose with a little razor blade. I've never done that. All my blood in the ring has been accidental. It was not supposed to happen.
Legit.
but
But I
legit,
find that
yeah,
with, I find it offensive when people say, "Oh, it's fake."
yeah,
Like, because for someone that's taken by and passionate about wrestling,
yeah,
I find it really offensive if someone says to me, "Oh, it's like I take offense to it." But
yeah, yeah. No, I just, I, I try to educate him a little bit. I'm like, okay, look, because there were a few years where I spoke to my kids' high school on career day, and one of the things that I spoke about was sports careers, and I talked about being a pro wrestler and what it takes. How much money you get paid. That
yeah,
you have to cover your own health insurance. You have to pay for your own plane fare. Unless you're like one of the top guys, you're paying your own way. You're taking care of your own medical bills and all that stuff.
yeah,
And sometimes you come out with barely enough money to for car fare home or to get back home. You're just doing it to get out there so you can get to where you're getting that big paycheck.
yeah,
And I actually demonstrated with my son because I trained my sons, so they all know how to do it.
yeah,
I basically had a demonstration in the career day class where I showed people how we do it,
yeah,
how pro wrestling works, because they're like, and I was like, on one level, okay, yeah, you might say it's fake, but it goes so much deeper than that.
hmm yeah,
And that's why I try to say it's not fake, it's scripted. The outcome is the only thing that's determined. And sometimes that's even doesn't work. If you, I've seen,
no,
I've seen people break their arms. I've seen a baseball slide knock a person unconscious, and I had to end the match
yeah, yeah,
because he,
one
he,
hundred
he hit the
percent,
mat so hard and he knocked himself unconscious, and he was supposed to win the match. And I'm like, I gotta call it because he's out.
yeah, yeah,
We're worried about the guy's safety, so we're like, I slid him out of the ring and we gave him the smelling salts and stuff. And I was like, dude, uh, people's well being is more important. But yeah, I got to the point where I was like, I don't know if I can do the show because I'm still hurt from the last
yeah,
show. And this is where they said, okay, now you need to start taking painkillers. And in professional wrestling, there's a lot of people who OD on painkillers or who have heart
yeah,
attacks because they are addicted to painkillers, and they
yeah,
have heart attacks and die because of this. And I vowed that's where I was going to draw the line, that
yeah.
I was not going to take painkillers, and I was not going to take steroids. Those were my two rules.
No, you don't want to go down that. You don't want to go down that route. You don't want to go down that
No,
route.
once you do that, then you're done.
Yeah,
Your life is going to be all about
100%.
that. And I'm like, no. So that's why I stopped wrestling, because I was like, okay, I have to decide. And the other thing was, you
Yeah,
have to be over 200 pounds if you want to make any money in the industry. And this was late 90s,
yeah,
early 2000s, and where you almost had to be a monster to get into the WWE.
yeah,
And I was 5'6", 175 when I was in my best shape. And I was like,
yeah.
okay, I'm going to try. So I got up to 200 pounds, and I hated how I felt. I looked big, but I couldn't jump off the top rope, or you know I
No.
lost all of that stuff that I had to do. So yeah, I just went and did a referee thing and stopped from there. So Movie Hunter jumped in. Movie Hunter, thanks for jumping in. We're actually just about to end, but thank you so much. Hopefully you can catch the replay and
Yeah,
check out Matt's 5 movies, because it was awesome. We had a great time scoring it. Um,
yeah. It was
Before
so
we sign
fun,
off,
and
brother, any last words?
so much for having me, David. I've had such a really good time, and I'd love to do an Instagram stream with you to discuss. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. No,
And
so yeah, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so 1 a.m. your time on Tuesday, we're going to do a stream where we're talking heist movies.
oh, awesome! Yeah, I'd love to
So
join.
yeah,
I think
jump in
I'm
and
on.
join us, and
I'm
then
on.
wherever the chat takes us after that.
That'd be awesome. I know I'm on the Hux quiz tomorrow night, so
Oh yeah,
that'd be
that'll be at
fun.
the same time, so you could jump in after that or whatever. Yeah,
That'd
you
be
are in
epic.
Hux
I'd
Quiz.
love
I
to.
saw the thumbnail for that. So yeah,
Yeah, so
I'll
that'd be
probably
fun.
have that
So
going on my computer while I'm live on Instagram on my
that
phone.
That would be awesome, Dave. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
but
you
yeah,
so
best
much,
of luck
man.
tomorrow, brother. I hope you win, kick everybody's butt, but most of all, I hope you have fun doing it. I know I did. I didn't win, but I was really close. But I had a lot of fun with Blu-ray King and Bearded Four Eyesman,
They're all
and
great
Brian
guys.
Goes
They're all,
Blue. We had great guys. We had an awesome time.
yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna have an awesome time. It's really fun.
I really appreciate that, man.
All
I'll
right,
probably be
brother.
high as a kite again, but
Yeah, yeah. High as a kite, but it's gonna be fun. Be writing Smokey and the
yeah,
Bandit on your.
yeah.
But
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson, there you go. Snoop Dogg, and then you. Oh, that's awesome. But so
Wait.
for Lowedown, yeah. So we have a stream tomorrow night on Instagram, 6 p.m. Pacific time, where we're talking about heist movies. And on Tuesday we have our top 10 Tuesday, where Turner Fan 77 and I are going to discuss. Each of us brought in 5 fantasy movies that we're going to rank and score live. So, and we'll see who wins that. All right, we're going to send out, brother. Everybody take care. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Love the stream. I had a blast. Oh, Brian Miller says thanks for the brief wrestle talk. Hey, we might do a show talking about wrestling.
I'd love that.
I see that coming because Turner Fan wants to do that too. So I'm down. We might do a stream on Instagram and we'll talk about wrestling.
That'd be epic.
All right, sounds good.
Guys.
All right, guys, everybody take care. Watch some movies. Have a lot of fun. Enjoy your next week.